James, we're going to talk about being authentic and what that looks like, what that feels like, and how can we spot when we ourselves are being fake. And fake would basically be when we're not true to ourselves. James, I'm just going to let you jump right in there.
Yeah. It's always the word transparency comes to mind when I'm thinking about that. One of the words that you hate is playing a role. Mm-hmm. There's a difference between playing a role and being in your lane. When you play a role, you're performing for others' expectations. And it's actually, you don't feel secure in yourself. So in order for people to accept you out of your insecurities, you play a role. Mm-hmm. For instance, I may say I like hamburgers just to fit in with everybody else.
Right, when reality is you don't.
But at the end of the day, I don't like hamburgers.
Right.
And again, we always talk about the little things. And so there's so many ways you can lose yourself. And that's one of the small, subtle ways is your whole group likes hamburgers. They go to, Five Guys hamburger place. Mm-hmm. And you really hate it. But at the end of the day, you're going to say it's okay to have hamburgers. So, Nancy, what's the harm in that?
Do you want to go to bed each night and know who you are as a whole person? Or do you want to go to bed each night and have different pieces of you owned by different circumstances, different people? That's the question you'd actually have to ask yourself.
But it's just hamburgers.
And it's not about hamburgers, okay? It's about the fact that you are actually two things that is going on. You're not being honest with yourself, and you're not being honest with others around you. So there's no trust there. You're not building an actual relationship. We kind of say that we're building a relationship. Relationships are built on trust. Mm-hmm. Trust is built on truth. Meaning, if you don't want to, if I'm going to if I want the Five Guys hamburgers and you don't want to go there, you don't like them, then a healthy relationship is you're being honest with me. You're saying, no, I don't want those. If you just say, okay, fine, we're going to go. What you're telling myself and you're telling you is neither one of us matter. And the reason why neither one of us matter is because you yourself don't matter. Because you are not going to be able to, you can't take a stand and say that I don't like Five Guys. So if you can't, you're not saying that I'm worthy, and this is a decision that I'm worthy of. Yes, I'm not saying that we make a fight on every little thing. That's self-centered. Again, a relationship is about give and take, and it's about being honest with the person, okay? So if you truly don't like Five Guys, but you're just going to go for the sake of peace or for the sake of the relationship, you're really not going for the sake of the relationship at all, because there is no relationship. There is no relationship. And what's the harm in that? Okay, right now, when things are going great, James, nothing. There is no harm, except for yourself. Okay, and what do I mean by that? You go to bed each night, and different parts of you is owned by different people or different circumstances. You don't own yourself. And as you continue to go this path, you're going to continue to become less and less of who you are, because you're constantly giving a piece of your soul away. You're constantly giving a piece of your soul away. But here's where it really matters, okay? When life gets real. When trauma hits your life. When trauma hits your life, this is where it really matters. Because these relationships that you have given into, that you were not honest with them and said, hey, I don't like Five Guys. It started with that. Because, okay, if you're not going to be honest if you can't be honest in the little things, you can't be honest in the big things. So if you can't tell them that I don't like a Five Guys, you're also not going to tell them when, say it's against your core value to go drinking, and they're going to go drinking. You're going to go along with them. So it continues to deteriorate you. But the very important thing is when trauma happens, when life gets real, those relationships, they're not there for you. They're not there for you because it was never a relationship. It was never a relationship. And also when trauma hits, you yourself cannot go through the trauma because you don't know who you are. You can't face a tornado when you have to go back and pick up bits and pieces of you. Oh, there's my toe. Give me my toe back. No, you can't. You need to literally be all put together in order for you to face the tornado that comes into your life. So that's really the harm. What exactly do you want to get out of life? What is your destiny in life? What is your purpose? What is your mission? What is your value? If relationships don't matter to you, then there is no harm. You're going to continue to give a piece of yourself. If you don't really, again, if you yourself don't really want to do anything with your life, there's no harm. Because you're constantly going to be you're constantly going to be selling pieces of you here and there until you don't know who you are. So it really comes down to the fact is, okay, if you don't mind everyone else controlling your life, there's no harm. If you don't mind everybody else telling you who you are and what you wear, where you dress, where you live, if you don't mind that, if that's very empowering to you, then by all means, there's no harm. If you don't mind that you're going through life for the rest of your life, and even though you're in a group of friends, you're together, you have tremendous amount of friends around you, but yet you feel all alone, there's no harm. If you don't mind, where you have all these friends around and everything, and you're there for them, they're telling you your stuff, but you have nobody, you have no listening ear, you have no empathy, you have nobody who truly gets you, there's no harm. So it really comes down to, James, what do you want out of life?
And I think you made a number of points as I was listening. And really, one of the things is, first of all, with that type of mindset, you're disrespecting the other person.
Well, James,
you're not. It's not a real.
You're disrespecting yourself.
But you're also disrespecting. That's
well, exactly. You can't give what you don't have.
But,
if you don't respect yourself, you can't respect others. If you don't love yourself, you can't love others. So you're right. You are disrespecting others. But the truth is, you're disrespecting yourself. You can't give what you don't have. If you don't have self-respect, you don't give respect. If you don't have where you love yourself, you're not going to love others around you either. If you don't say, I matter, you're not going to say others matter. Can't give what you don't have.
And that's why the people aren't there for you when you go through a trauma.
That's true.
So, in other words, if you and I, we would continue to go to Five Guys, and I'm lying to you all along that I don't like it, what kind of relationship is that?
We don't have a true relationship.
We really don't have
We really don't. Because here's the thing, okay, what you're also doing is there's deception there. You can't say that you're a person of integrity and then continue to tell me that you like Five Guys, because I'm taking you at your word. You say you're a person of integrity and you're telling me you like Five Guys. Then all of a sudden I find out you never did like Five Guys. Okay, you just deceived me. So there's tremendous amount of there's no integrity there. You don't have integrity. If you're going to continue, we have these things that people say the white lies are okay. No, the white lies are actually what gets you. It eats away at your character. The white lies, you don't have integrity. If you can tell a white lie, you don't have integrity. You really don't. It eats away at your character.
The other thing, as you're talking, another thing that happens when you talk about when we hit trauma, when the rubber meets the road, another thing, fallacy with that type of thinking is all of a sudden now it's going to affect my pocketbook. Now I'm going to tell you really clearly, I don't like hamburgers.
That's true. That's true. If it makes you into a financial to where you have to dig out money for, exactly. That's true. Now you're going to tell me, but again, like I said,
and then I'm going to blindside you.
Well, you deceived me.
And yes, and also yes.
And so then the question is going to be, because again, you're not telling me the truth. Now the question is going to come, where else have you lied to me? Exactly. And as a matter of fact, you probably lied to me all over the place. Because again, if you can tell me little white lies, that's a character flaw. Mm-hmm. It's a character flaw. There's no such thing as little white lies. Mm-hmm. That's a character flaw. So if you can tell me those, then where else were you truthful? Where were you truthful? That would then become the question would then become, where were you truthful?
Exactly. And it all starts with a hamburger.
Exactly.
I don't like hamburgers.
Exactly.
And what we call a pretense in relationships. We continue to give you a pretense that this is okay until, go ahead.
Well, you're right, James. And it goes back to how I started out, where we're talking about being authentic. Stop with the pretense. Take off the mask. Be authentic. Because why did you not tell me that you don't like Five Guys? Because I love Five Guys, and you're afraid that if you tell me that, you're going to offend me, or we're not going to be friends anymore. Okay, well, let me ask you this question, okay? Am I worth being a friend if I'm that fickle that if you disagree with me on the hamburger joint, that we can't be friends anymore? Am I worth being a friend? Mm-hmm. The answer to that is no. If I'm going to be that fickle that because you don't agree with me to go to the same place that I like to go eat hamburgers, we can't be friends, then you don't want to be in a relationship like that anymore. Mm-hmm. It starts with being authentic and honest with yourself. Okay. Mm-hmm. What exactly? So here's the thing. Okay, what exactly is being honest? It's honest. What is being authentic in that? What does that look like? Well, you say, I really don't like Five Guys hamburgers, but it's not the end of the world, and I really want to do this for her because, she likes it. So I'm going to be honest with her. I'm going to say, I really don't like Five Guys, but we can go there. I'm totally fine with going there. I just want to let you know it's not really my preference. Mm-hmm. That's it. So then, if you're not saying that we're not going there, and you're not saying that if I go there, our relationship is over. You're just giving me your opinion. You're giving me your actual opinion of what you think of Five Guys. Mm-hmm. So then, when I ask you what do you think of Five Guys, you're going to be very honest with me. If you can't be honest with me there, you cannot be honest with me in real life, okay? When we are on the job and we have to make decisions, that can be life and death decisions, and I'm asking for your input in that as a trusted person, and you're not being honest with me, can actually cause death. It really can. So again, if you're not going to be honest with me there, you're not going to be honest with me in the big things either. You're just not. It's a character flaw.
Yeah. And that's where, let's take it from Five Guys to, let's say you're in a relationship, a marriage, or exactly work environment. It really comes down to core values. Mm-hmm. Do we, in the culture we're in, do we have the freedom to put our core values on the table?
We do, James, we do. We choose not to.
Why is that?
Because we are not being authentic and truthful. It starts with us. I have to be honest and truthful with myself. What is my core values? What is my non-negotiables? What is my core values? First of all, what is my core values? Second of all, what are my non-negotiables? What do I mean by that? What are the lines that I will not cross? What are the lines that I will not cross? Okay, I need to be honest with myself on that. We say that, well, we have this division and we have this people being offended and we have all these things. They're the problem. No, they're not. You are the problem because it's a choice.
But
it's a choice. Okay. Because if you start saying that this is who I am today, these are my core values, and these are borders that I'm not going to cross. If you start doing that, you can change the world.
But I'm going to lose some people in the process. I'm going to offend some people.
Here's the thing.
I'm going to bring about persecution on myself.
Here's the thing, okay? Let's go to the relationships, okay? If you lose a relationship because you put up your core values and you put up your non-negotiables and you actually said, I matter, it was never a relationship in the beginning. It was never a relationship. Again, relationships are two people accepting each other for who they are.
But what?
It's built on trust, and it's built on we build each other up. We pour into each other to grow each other, whatever kind of relationship that is. It is about pouring into each other to grow each other, to become the people that we were created to be. So if I'm actually holding myself and I have core values, and I'm saying I can no longer, I know I did this in the past, but I can no longer do that because of who I am today. And I lose those those relationships. They were never relationships.
But what if it's all your relationships that you have? Because again, we talked about starts with the hamburger, and we always talk about where you are, there you are, right? So what if I lose every relationship I had and I have to start all over? Why would I? I mean, that's scary as heck.
That's a great word, James. Where you are, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, your relationships were built, all the relationships you had, because who you are, you take yourself wherever you go. Mm-hmm. Okay? So you can continue to stay in this, again.
But I'm going to lose them all.
Again,
what if it's even my marriage?
Well, again, James, I said basically.
What if it's even my kids? I mean, again, where you are, who you are.
Right. Again, I asked, do you want to go to bed and have yourself 100%? Do you want to have that? Do you want to be able to be your person, or do you want to be controlled by everyone around you? Do you want to be able to be controlled to where you live, what you speak, what you wear? Do you like that? If you like that, then by all means, don't take this step. But if you're saying that I need a change, I do not like where I'm at today, I don't like who I am today. Okay, who you are, the people around you represent who you are, guilty by association. They all represent who you are. So obviously when you change, and yes, James, it can be your marriage, it can be your children, because obviously when you change, when you say that today I'm going to become I'm going to walk in character, I'm going to build my character, I'm going to become a person of integrity. If you were giving these white lies, you were surrounded by people who did white lies. We are all deceiving each other. It's a triangle. It's a snare. We can't get out. We're all deceiving each other. If you start walking that you're not going to be deceptive, you're going to be truth and honesty, you're going to lose them all, because again, they don't want to change. It doesn't matter about them. Because again, you get what you put in. Who you are surrounded by is who you are. So if you don't want to be the deceptive person, then obviously you're going to be changing relationships.
That's a key thing. You want to get out of the world of deception.
That's exactly my point. And so that's what I'm saying. It can even be your marriage, because again, we created this triangle of deception. Our marriage, our children, everything was based on deception, was based on white lies, right? It was based on somebody was giving and somebody was taking. And every piece of us is gone. Now we have to start putting the pieces back. So we have to go over to Aunt Millie and get that piece back. We have to go over here to Uncle Charles and bring the piece back. Aunt Millie and Uncle Charles may never speak to us again. That's okay. Because at least I have myself. They don't have a piece of me. Again, we create our own destinies. It's all in what do you want to be. When you look into the mirror, what do you want to be known as? When you look in the mirror, when you go to bed at night, do you want to be able to go to bed and sleep knowing that you're totally true? When you make decisions, do you want to know 100% that it's all me? Nobody is speaking into me. I'm making decisions. I own my life. Or do you want to be controlled by others around you? It's all what you want.
So that sounds overwhelming. What's the first step? Well, first of all, for me, when I saw it, it sounds like you have to want to. What's the key want?
What
is the key want?
The key want is to know within yourself that there is something better and greater out there than what I'm living today, and I'm worthy of it. I am worthy to be me, 100% me. I am worthy to live a life freedom versus in chains. I am worthy to be surrounded by people who truly, authentically love me and care for me. And like I said, a true relationship pours into each other to grow, to become the person we were created to be. Not to pull down, not to tear down, not to be deceptive. It is to be able to have those great conversations, because again, when we look at the lives, okay, we have relationships. One person looks at life this way, the other person looks at life that way. When we have true, healthy relationships, we can sit across the table, we can discuss new ideas. Great relationships talk about ideas, not other people. They discuss ideas. They discuss the world. We can dream again. We can live again. If that is what you say, I deserve, I am worthy, and you know that that's out there, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that's what it starts with. You have to want to. Nobody can do it for you. Only you can do it. But you have to want to. Is it easy? Is anything worthwhile in life easy?
And for me, I had to get to a place where, for me, life circumstances, exactly what you talk about, brought me. That's why I asked the questions, because for me, I get it. Life circumstances all fell around me in so many ways.
But James, your life circumstances fell all around you. That's true. But it still goes back to the fact you had to want to.
Yeah.
Your life, everything fell apart. You still had choices. You could still stay in what you chose, what you had created. You could still stay in there. But you made a choice that you deserve better. You want better. You want to do something greater that is better than you, that's out there.
Yeah.
That's what you knew. You knew that this here is no longer, this jail that I built for myself is not mine.
Yeah.
So, yes, your life circumstances brought you to that situation, but you still had to make that choice that you want to, because it doesn't get easy, and it's not an overnight thing. Again, you didn't get where you were at overnight, so you're not going to undo where you're at overnight.
Yeah.
It takes time.
And I think for me, yes, it all comes back to, as leaders, when you're a leader, you want to do something great. Mm-hmm. You want to impact in ways that is, I don't know how to describe it, but you just want to impact.
Well, again, it's what is your legacy?
Yes, what is?
Do you want to leave a legacy, or do you just want to die? That's really what it comes down to. As a leader within ourselves, that's what I mean by there's something greater, there's something bigger out there.
Yeah.
And that I know within
Bigger than
myself.
myself.
Exactly. And I know
I also know there's a better version of myself.
that's exactly what I mean by that. Better out there, okay?
Yeah.
Than this jail that I created for myself. I do not deserve this jail that I created for myself. And the thing of it is, it comes down to exactly when your life fell apart, you're just like, okay, what exactly are you leaving behind? And a legacy is really about, what do you leave behind? When you die, what are people going to say about you 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now? Did you leave this world a better place, or did you just take from this world as you went through? It's all a choice. It all comes down to a choice.
And it really, in the relationships, going the path, and one of the paths was looking at the relationships, putting the core values on the table. Where are you at? Where am I at? Mm-hmm. And there's no more blindsiding that. Mm-hmm. And there was one particular relationship where I said, let's put the core values on the table. Where are you at? Where are you at? I'm changing. And again, it's change. And not everybody's going to change around you.
No.
But one of the things I learned through this journey, the most important thing I learned for this journey, is be honest about the hamburger.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Start with the hamburger. Mm-hmm. Then go on core values, exactly what you said. Be willing at any point, no matter who it is, put your non-negotiables, your core values up on the billboard for all to see.
Exactly.
Don't hide one core value, one person about who you are, all the way to the hamburger. Mm-hmm. There is tremendous amount of freedom in that. However, but that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. It starts with tremendous amount of honesty. But first of all, it starts with being honest with yourself.
It does.
It starts by looking in the mirror and look at the version. Is that the version of yourself, of who you are? Mm-hmm. And are you satisfied with that? Do you want to stay the same? Exactly what you said. Do you want to change? Or are you satisfied with being a people pleaser or a chameleon or whatever the word you want to use?
Well, that's true.
Are you satisfied?
Yeah, go ahead. Well, it really goes when we go in for a job interview. Oftentimes the question is asked, where do you see yourself in 5 years? So when you look in the mirror and you see yourself in 5 years, exactly where you're at today, is that good? Is that good? Or do you see yourself somewhere else 5 years? Do you see a different you in 5 years? Well, if you see a different you in 5 years, you need to start making steps to making that happen, which it starts today.
And if you look at yourself in 5 years and you're still doing the same thing, you're still trapped in that prison. Is that what you want? Mm-hmm. Does it work for you? Because there's something wrong. And again, we all go back to, I'm the problem, I'm the solution. Mm-hmm. Look back at yourself. But exactly what you said. It's not an easy path. And you have a chance of losing. Again, where you are, there you are. You build a network around you being the pleaser and being dishonest. And then all of a sudden, there's another thing that happens is all of a sudden now you're honest. Even the people that were value relationships may not come back because you were dishonest with them.
They don't trust you because they thought you were honest. Mm-hmm.
But are you willing to pay the price to start over? Mm-hmm. I'm talking third person on that one. That's a price. But I can give from my testimony, I would do it all over again. What I mean by it is I'm willing to pay. I paid that price and still willing to pay that price. Because exactly what you said, when you go to bed at night, you're going to bed with yourself. Mm-hmm. And you can do inventory of and I used to always do inventory. I used to do an inventory of who did I piss off, what I got to go fix. My inventory I do tonight is where did I miss the cues from God? Mm-hmm. Where do I need to be sanctified? Where do I miss not being true to myself? That's the inventory I do now. The other inventory is who did I piss off? Who is going to be pissed off at me? Who do I need to go? I have to go back and fix that, make sure I didn't offend that person. Mm-hmm. That was the inventory I used to do. I much rather like the inventory I do on my when I go to bed at night now.
Yeah.
So where did I miss the mark? Where did I violate myself? Where did I violate my God?
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, you forgive yourself and God forgives you. And that's the beautiful piece.
Hardest thing to do is to forgive yourself because that's where it starts. But when you're being deceiving, you're actually deceiving yourself.
Yeah.
That's really what you're doing. So
it's not really the people not being.
Well, you are being deceptive to people around you, but you're being deceiving. You're really deceiving yourself.
At the end of the day, you're doing it. It's not them.
You're self-destroying yourself. Yeah. It's not who you were created to be. And so, yes, so out of that, the first step is, again, forgive yourself.
Yeah. And by the way, Nancy, we like Five Guys.
Honestly, I've never been there.
You've never been to Five Guys? Oh, you like hamburgers, right?
I like hamburgers, yes, but I've never been to Five Guys.
And
I haven't. Yeah. I've never been there.
And I was using an example, but I want to be honest with the audience. I love Five Guys, but
I've never been there, so yeah. Oh, man. But I do like hamburgers, yes.
Yeah, and they have, we're doing a plug here for Five Guys, but it is amazing. They have French fries in a lunch bag.
Exactly.
Oh, my. It's sort of, we were at a restaurant in California with In and Out, mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do like Five Guys, and I do love hamburgers. My stomach, my physique doesn't love them as much as I do, but I used it as an example. Again, everywhere we're at, truth and honesty. Mm-hmm. It was just a metaphor. However, if you would like to come with us to Five Guys and have more of the conversation, we would love to have you there and talk more in depth on this issue.
That is true.
It's not an issue. It's I'm looking for the right word. Transformation. Mm-hmm. The path of transformation. The path of the path
to mobilization.
Yes.
It's really the path to mobilization.
Exactly. And part of the transformation is being truth and honesty. Mm-hmm. Repenting from white lies.
Yes.
And false perceptions.
Yep.
Nancy, any closing statements?
No, it was a very great, profound conversation again, James. I look forward to our next one.
I definitely welcome emails and get in touch with us. We're all facing this in multiple degrees, and that's why we started off with just saying yes to a hamburger. But we're in a world right now that everybody is offended and there's so much pretense. And what we need as leaders is to be able to proclaim the truth and be able to stand on our values and who we are. We have a leadership vacuum. It needs to change. James at orangeroseservices.com. Drop us a line. We'd be more than willing to have a conversation. And again, we'd definitely like to go with you to Five Guys. Have a great week.